Good afternoon, good morning, good evening going out to you wherever that you're watching us or you are joining us from. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's session is going to be informative as usual. And above all, it's going to be relaxing. It's going to be an entertaining session for you to also, just basically to relax and get to learn about whatever that we are going to share with you today. And so today, joining me is from Iowa. I'm talking about Iowa State University. I got a wonderful friend of mine that I met, I think, 2 weeks ago, and then we kind of just bonded up so quickly. I don't know if it was just because of the fact that he spent some time in Africa. And so we will be getting into any discussion, any question that you would have for us today. Maybe you happen to be a prospective student wherever you're coming from, maybe from the western part of Africa, from the eastern part, the northern part. You're coming in from Europe, you're coming in from Asia, wherever you're coming in from, and then maybe you have any question today. I have my friend from Iowa State University. Maybe you are interested in this school, you have some questions to the admissions office. What are the admissions basic requirements? The amount of application fees? Do they do transcript evaluation? What about the international community or the international presence at ISU? And also, what about something that most of you are curious about? Scholarship, funding, on campus jobs. What are your questions getting to that today? I want to say thank you so much. So, if you're just joining me for the very first time, I want to say thank you. Kindly help us to share this link, put it up on your statuses, on your stories, so that most of your friends, who knows, a prospective student may be in a frustrating situation at this point, but just of the fact that he or she is going to join us in this session, they're going to be relieved getting some informative answers today. And so, I'm just going to try and bring my guest on today. The man has, the first name is actually just short, just two-letter words. We'll get into that. So without much ado, I bring my friend on board for us to have this wonderful discussion. Hi, Ty. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good, McCray. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How is your day going so far? How is it going for you?
Man, it's going well, but I've been looking forward to this all morning long.
Ah, man, thank you so much. I know that this is actually 12 p.m. CST at your time. This should be your lunchtime by now. But look at you. Here you are doing the work of the Lord.
You know, I've got little kids, so my day is really funky, and so I actually start work at 5:30 in the morning on these days. So
Wow.
yeah, so I'm
That's
in the
heavy.
later half of my work day. So
Yeah.
I'm still going strong. Thank goodness to coffee.
Okay, so thank you so much once again for joining us. Those who are seeing you for the very first time, they want to know who I have here today. I already told them you are from ISU, but I want you to please introduce yourself, your name, your position at ISU, and then maybe any other thing that you think may be relevant to your introduction today.
Before I jump into that, I had to tell you when you were introducing and saying that I was from Iowa State University, I imagined all these people who are watching opening up another screen and going, "Where in the world is Iowa?" I could just hear all the clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So okay, I am here in Ames, Iowa. I currently work at Iowa State University. And just so your audience is clear, you know, my area of specialty right now is I work in graduate admissions.
Okay.
So, you know, if someone comes across with questions about undergrad, I can try to help. But my colleague, unfortunately, he's traveling in Malaysia right now and who works with the undergrad, so he couldn't be here. But yeah, I'm Ty Smines. I am a alumni of Iowa State. I graduated. I'm not going to say what year. Let's say it was more than 5 years ago. As I get my background, you'll start doing the math. Like, wait, 5 years there, 7 there. I was actually I graduated as a teacher, and I worked in K-12 education. And I did it for over 20 years. And where I did it, I did my student teaching in New Zealand when I was in Iowa State. So, yeah. And you want to talk about, you know, how a university shapes the rest of your life. Like
Mm.
I went down and did my student teaching in New Zealand and went, whoa, there's a whole world out there, outside of Iowa. And so that led me into a career of international education. So I was working at schools. I worked at a school in Kuwait for 4 years. Yeah. And then loved it. And then I worked in Shanghai during the most amazing time, like 2009, 2016, when China became the second largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
It was such a crazy, incredible time there. And then we went to Zambia after that. Man, I'll be honest with you, we'd probably honestly still be in Africa if COVID hadn't come.
Okay. So you were staying in Zambia?
Yeah, we were living in Lusaka, and I was working at the American school there. So by this time, I was a principal. I wasn't just teaching; I was a principal of the American school, American International School, I should say, because there's another American school there. Wow. And so we were there, and man, amazing life that we led. And then we did 3 more years in Dominican Republic, and then we have 2 little boys, and said, well, we need to get home closer to family so they know that their family. So when we said we're coming back, where are we going to live? I said, we got to live in Ames. And where are you going to work? I have to work at Iowa State.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. And I had a strong, when you move overseas, you find ways to link back home, keep your roots. And one of them was, getting online, watching, listening to Iowa State sports, keeping up with all the Iowa State news. I love my undergrad, my time at Iowa State. And so when we're moving back, I just like, what in the world? I can't imagine doing anything else other than working at Iowa State. Wanted to stay in education, and Iowa State was in the way. So that's how I ended up right here in graduate admissions.
So at Zambia, how was the life for you? I'm pretty sure that I don't know how many years you spent at Zambia.
We were there for 4 years.
For 4 years. So probably by now you kind of, understand a little bit of the dynamics of Africa, right? You see how we, the Africans, we have a lot of energy. The party doesn't stop. We are always partying every Friday. Like it doesn't stop like that. You know what I mean?
Friday. It starts on Wednesday and ends on Tuesday.
I'm sure when you go there for the very first time and then you saw that, you're like, where are those people from, man? They don't get tired.
Okay, so in some ways, I always said Zambia was like the Iowa of Africa.
Okay.
Because, now, being in the Midwest, McCray, that people in the Midwest are just kind, friendly, caring. If you're on the side of the road standing there and you're, hood of the car up and hands in the air like you're exasperated, somebody's going to stop and help you, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was in Zambia. Now, it is also different than the Midwest because the Zambians were loud and, like you said, loved to party, and the music was blared and all of us. And that's a little bit different. We're a little bit quieter in the Midwest, but I loved it.
Zambia is a great place. I think I need to. Yeah, I think I need to organize a trip for you guys. Take you to now the western part of Africa, to Ghana, to Nigeria, so that we're going to do some recruitment and bring people to the US to study. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people that want to come to your place right now at this moment. So we'll probably get some sort of recruitment trip, to the western part of Africa at this point, so that we do something.
Well, we've got a good deal of Ghanaians. That's how we say it, right? Ghanaians. And at Iowa State, we get a lot of applicants there, and they come, and of course, that I have that affinity of connecting with people of where I've been. So, Middle East, China, Dominican Republic. So when they do that first day orientation, I'm looking, because people like to represent. They'll have a little flag on their bag, or you'll see someone from Zambia that's got their Zambia soccer jersey on. So I'm looking for that, and they're like, I'm gonna go talk to that guy or that girl. So I miss the international life.
We are so
Yeah.
glad to have you today, wanting to share this wonderful experience with all of us. My audience and then my friends joining us today want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll just dive right now into the discussion. The first question we're going to look at, it will be the basic requirement of getting into Iowa State University. Maybe before just that, let's talk about the application fee. Application fee is an important factor that we need to look at, because
Yes,
at
it
this
is.
point I'm sure that most of the viewers joining us right now, they are like, okay, I hope the application fee, I can get some free waiver. Can I get something? So let's get into that. So my first question to you is, how much is the application fee to Iowa State University as of now?
Okay. So I'm going to answer that question, but I want everyone to hear me out through the whole answer, right? Because it may shut someone down immediately. And there's a lot of variables to it. So the international application fee is $100 US.
Okay.
Now, what you need to know though is how an application fee is applied depends on the department. So whatever program of study you're applying to. So some programs of study have chosen to apply the application fee upfront. So you fill out your application and you click submit and you go to a page where you have to pay. So that's some of them. Others that have it where you apply, you submit, you upload all of your academic documents, you get your letters of recommendation. And then if you are selected and offered and you accept, then that will later go on your university bill. And then there are other departments that there's no fee because they pay it right up front for you. So we're a decent, like many, one might say most universities, public universities of our size, we have the decentralized graduate admissions process. So there's a lot of variability depending on what program you're going into.
Okay, so I think we have like three categories at this point. So we have one that you paid upfront before your application is reviewed or considered.
Yes.
The other category is when you apply, you get an offer, like you're admitted, and then that application fee is applied or is added to your student bill for you to pay, right?
Yes.
And the other one is maybe the department just want to cater for the application fee for you, right?
Yes.
And so are we saying that it is dependent on the department or the program that you're applying to?
Correct.
Okay, so that means that I can't choose to do the one I want to do. Let's say I want to just get it applied, or added to my university bill in the future for me. Can't I just get that opportunity?
No, so there's some complications behind how each department wants the application reviewed and processed. So if the process happens where they want our admissions department to go through and do the transcript evaluations and all that ahead of time, so that they know that they get their every applicant that they get is viable, meets all the requirements, the application fee has to be paid up front in order for that to happen. So it's kind of like pay to play, right? So you gotta pay the money to play. And then if it is where applicants can apply and upload their documents, but then after decision, they that's when the evaluation happens. Well, then that can be a delayed fee. So it's really up to the department on how they want their applications to be processed by the admissions team, and then that therefore will determine whether it's paid up front or after.
So maybe you may not have this answer as of right now, but maybe as the show goes on, you have it in mind. We can talk about that. I wanted to find out if you have maybe some departments that would fall in these three categories. Maybe English department, they are likely to have it waived for you and apply it to your bill later. Or maybe the mathematics department, they would even pay it for you, like as in a free application. Or maybe the computer science department, you would have to pay before your application is considered. So maybe along the show, maybe when you get some other sort of analytics, I mean, stuff like that, that you answered that, we can get into that. Okay.
Cool.
We'll get into the basic requirement, the basic requirement that a student listening to you right now can get into ISU. Let's go. Ty, what are the basic requirements we're talking about today?
Okay, I'm just going to look at our website just to make sure I don't miss anything. I can tell you some of them off the top of our head. So, first off, when you apply, you will obviously submit an application, and then you'll start uploading your documents. And the requirements that are set by the graduate college. Okay, so this means that no matter who you are, what program of study you're going through, you will become a member of the graduate college. And then therefore you have to meet these requirements. So first of all, what you need to submit is you will need to submit your statement of purpose. Every student, no matter what, will submit a statement of purpose. And then after that, you'll have to submit your transcripts, full transcript. So while you're applying, they can be unofficial transcripts. So that can be like, hey, I've got my paper copy. I'm going to scan it or use my camera scanner and upload it. That's fine as long as it's clear and we can see everything, all the details on there. And then also what you'll need to upload if you're from an international university is a degree statement or a diploma as well. So then what we are looking for when we go through and evaluate this as our admissions team is it an accredited university through one of the major accreditors? Is it equivalent? And it depends. Now, hear me out with this one as well. Is it what we say comparable to a 4-year degree? So do you have an undergraduate degree that is comparable to a United States 4-year degree? Now, that doesn't mean it has to be 4 years. So, for example, if you take A levels and you get into a program and that program's 3 years, well, we call that 3+1 because of the A levels, right? And there's depending on the country, there's different variants of that. So we use global guidelines with some of our institutions that do international evaluations and refer to them. So it's got to be a comparison to a US 4-year degree. It must be a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. So someone out there might be saying, now wait a minute, my school works off a 10-point scale, or or I have a 63%. What we say in that case is just go, put in the application anyways. We will do the comparison for you. You don't have to say, wait, I don't know how to translate this to a 4.0. Don't worry, we can do that for you. And then we also have an English proficiency requirement. There is exemption of countries where it's primarily English speaking and they graduate and go to a program in an English speaking country as well. And those are all posted on our website. So sorry, I didn't complete that last one. If you haven't gone to one of those countries, you're not from one of them, then we do have certain score requirements on the IELTS and the Pearson and Duolingo and TOEFL. And those are all posted on our website as well. And those are just to make sure that we're not accepting people that are going to have a low likelihood of success because just because their English level is not high enough to follow along with their programs.
Okay. All right. So we're going through it. It means that the first thing we are looking at is a statement of purpose. That is something we cannot waive. And then also we are looking at transcript. And we're trying to make it clear that if you have the unofficial one and then you've scanned it well and it is clear enough for the admission team to see and evaluate, you don't have to worry about it. Just submit that for consideration, right?
Yeah. And the same with the degree statement. We'll take scanned copies of that up front.
Okay. I want to stay a little bit on a transcript. So does it mean that you wouldn't at any point ask the prospective to submit the official one later. There are some
Yeah.
schools here in the US, they go like, okay, now we have considered the application by you using the unofficial one, but now you have been accepted, and your acceptancy for you to be on a full status, we need to have
Yeah.
your official copy. That means
Yeah.
that having your university sending us the official one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how do you guys go with that?
You just nailed it right there. If you're offered acceptance, and then you accept the offer, and then you go through the whole onboarding process, and you're showing up to Iowa State, and you want to get into your courses, we need a final official, right? Transcript. So you can't come with a provisional, and you can't come with the one that you got one semester before you finish. We need the final official with all the correct stamps and verifications, authentications, as well as a final official degree statement. We encourage, when we're working on ways right now to multiple methods that students internationally can submit them electronically. It's a little complicated right now, but we're working on some ways to get that done so people don't have to worry about. There are options out there, but right now they're more expensive than a courier fee, and we have some options that are equivalent or less expensive than having the hard copies couriered. We can also accept, we understand that, some universities say you only get one copy, and, you need to keep hold of that. We understand that as well. So for those people, when they show up first day or second day or first week at Iowa State, they come to our office, and then they present their documents. And what we do is we scan it, and then we get it back to them that same visit, because you only get one copy of that transcript. That's like a gold bar. You don't want to let that go out of your sight.
So that means you can allow a student that whilst they're coming to the US, they come in with the original copy?
Yes.
Oh, yes. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
so easier on them, because they're, all their holds and everything can be removed before they even arrive if they're couriered. And then, like I said, we hope to very soon be able to make it slick and easy electronically. So there's a verification process done by an external company, and then the applicant or the student can have it sent over to Iowa State through them.
Okay. All right. Still on the transcript about evaluation, you mentioned of the fact that the admissions office, you do some sort of internal evaluation, right? For example, if you have to even do with the GPA, the undergraduate education I had in Ghana, we were not doing GPA, we were doing CWA. So what people would have, let's say 3.0, 3.2, 2.7, 2.8, mine was in about percentage, 67 point something, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And so that means that when you guys see that, it would not scare you. You guys would do the internal evaluation, right?
Yes. Yeah. We don't get scared by any of those anymore.
Yeah. Iowa State.
No, we have trained evaluators, and we work with there's some nonprofit organizations that are just organizations that are groups of college evaluators. There's some other professional groups, and we're members of all of them, and we work with that community, people who are experts in the area. There might be Ghanaians that are on that in that organization that help us understand and translate. So we rely on our networks of experts in specific countries. Some are experts at specific schools. But then we get this whole, stockpile, encyclopedia of comparison charts, and we can use to make sure that people, as much as possible, trying to make it as equal as possible in terms of translating that to a 4.0.
Okay. That is so beautiful to hear. So I think this is actually the first time we are talking about something called degree statement. Can you please elaborate on that so that my prospectives would get to understand what we mean by degree statement?
Yeah, a degree statement. Other places it might be called a diploma. So degree statement is that final document you get after convocation that says, you have been granted this such and such degree, such your official name. It has to say specifically that you've been granted, or some of that language, what specifically the degree is, and the date of that, and the university is from. So that's that final piece that says, yes, you did it, you completed the program. We need to ensure that we have that.
Okay, so I want to just have my people to also understand the way it is called in America is degree statement, but what we will call it back home is just your degree certificate.
Yeah.
So, because the degree certificate, it has the school that is issuing the certificate to you, it has the program you studied, your name also, and then the date that the degree has been conferred on you.
Yeah.
So it has all those details you mentioned. So I just don't want to confuse anybody here that, hey, they said we should get a degree statement. Oh my God, where am I? Listen, everybody, you have it already. So far as you're done with school, you have it. You have the certificate. So
and I want to make it known too that if there's someone out there who says, wait, I'm not graduated yet, I'm gonna graduate at the end of this term, I don't have that degree statement yet, can I apply? Absolutely. You put in the latest transcript that you have, and then we can see, you still have a semester left, or you have 2 semesters left. And then you will not have to submit a degree statement until the time that you arrive at Iowa State. And you have to show, in order to enroll classes, that yes, I did finish my bachelor's program. But you can still apply in the meantime. You don't have to have that bachelor's before you can even apply. We will work with you.
So if the student applied in the meantime, let's say this person is let's say a junior year, Ghana or in Nigeria, or maybe let me say Africa, we'll probably call it level 300. Let's say the person is a junior right now. The person can still go in and apply, right? But would the school consider this application like to give admissions out, or the school needs to wait until the person is done and has submitted the other last year transcript before the admission is given?
So they will need to submit the last year transcript, but they can be offered admission before that, right? So just like we were talking about before, everyone has to submit an official final. That's why I emphasize the final. So they can do that. Now, obviously, the further you are along in your bachelor, so if you apply at a 400 level, it gives the evaluators a clearer picture of who you are, what your capabilities are. So it's not to say that, at 300 level, you wouldn't be accepted, but, the further you can wait. Now, we understand some people don't want a very large gap in between, and that's fine as well. And some applicants have such strong resumes anyways, that's okay.
Okay. That's beautiful. So, if you're joining us right now, I want to say thank you so much. So we will be getting into any questions that you have. It is a live Q&A session. And so if you have any question, please start putting it up in the comment section, and then we will get into tackling that with you very soon. Just before I get to we're talking about jobs on campus, scholarship and grant, because I know most of you are interested in that. And then we'll probably find out if the international office, they kind of offer some sort of visa support. Maybe if you are getting for an interview, you want to have some idea, mock interview preparation, whatever it is, we'll probably find out from them very soon. But if you have any question, please put it up in the comment section so that we're going to try and start tackling them any moment from now. So Ty, let's now get to it, talking about the jobs on campus. I've lost count of emails and messages I've been getting. Mercury, listen, I have an admission, but I don't have this odd. I need something, and I'm trying to get in touch with my family people, but it's just not working out. Is it a loan that is going to be the thing for me? But I don't want to come to the US on a loan budget.
Yeah.
I want to come to ISU knowing that McRae, I have received some sort of GA, graduate assistantship, or maybe I have received some sort of scholarship or grant. So let's basically talk about opportunities currently at ISU. Tell us something encouraging. Ty, come on, tell us something beautiful.
Well, I have it for you. It's encouraging. All right, we are a major university. As you were talking, I was typing because I wanted to get some numbers just for you. I mean, we're looking at, we have over 30,000 students.
30,000.
Yeah. So along with that, now you have to remember, part of that is online, part of that satellite campuses, a big chunk undergraduate. But what comes with that is more opportunities. And so again, going back to the idea that our graduate college is decentralized in its admissions process, a lot is left up to the departments. So a lot of, sorry, I'm going to take back and not say a lot. What we have is our departments determine, looking at their budgets, whether they offer assistantships or not. Some departments don't have the funding. They'll get in a lot of graduate students, and so they cannot offer any assistantship. Other departments, which will have smaller amount of people that they accept, they will give assistantships, full assistantships to everyone that comes in as a student, right? And then there's in between. There's some departments will give full assistantships, and then some half, and so there's a whole mix. So later on when we post the website, and I'm going to post a site where your audience can go and look at exact programs, so they can fish through every one of our graduate programs. You can always reach out to those programs and ask them if it's not on that page specifically about that. But there's lots of opportunities for that. There's teaching assistantships, there's research assistantships, and then just jobs. When you have a campus that size, about 25,000 undergraduates, there's a lot of work that needs to get done. And so there's those opportunities as well.
Okay, so it means that we have some sort of assistantship, that is the research, the teaching assistantship, and also the graduate administrative assistantships as well. And then on-campus jobs, right? So what do you think a student may be asking? What do you think a student can do to increase their chances? What do you think? Because I have been receiving those questions from day to day. What do you think a student can do right now coming to ISU?
I think, a lot of it is going to be dependent on a couple of things. It's going to, what is your past experiences, right? Do you come in, and again, it depends on each department. And so your past work experience, your past school experience, how strong is your application? But really, probably the biggest thing that you can do is get a hold of that department and even do your homework. Find out what are the professors that work in graduate school that are doing research, what are they doing, and how do you align with their work, right? So if you're working in a field and you find a professor who is doing exactly what you do, they're researching in an area where you're specialized, you want to reach out to that professor and say, hey, I'm thinking about applying at Iowa State University. This is what I'm doing. This is what aligns with what you're doing. I'm really, really interested in working with you as an assistant. That's probably one of the best things that you can do. And not just for Iowa State, that's across the board. Just sending out a blind, I'm applying to this university. Can I please have an assistantship? That is not going to get the same consideration. We know, especially with the economy of the world right now, everyone needs that help. So it's going to be that person who's done their background check, their homework, really ensured that they align with that program, that department, that they align with the professor and the research that's being done.
Mm.
Yeah.
Would you say that because of the high population at ISU, it could
Yeah.
be difficult for students to get on-campus jobs? I mean, let's say somebody who is looking at getting a job at the library, getting a job at the cafeteria, getting a job at the maintenance of facility, getting a job at the dormitory or housing. Like, would you
Yep.
say that it is difficult, particularly an international student? Would you say it's difficult or it's competitive? How would you put it?
No, and I have to be very careful. Understand with my response, I understand the admissions process. I'm
Mhm.
not someone else, but from my understanding is no, it's not difficult.
Mm.
The way more to think about it is with that many students, there's that many more jobs. Just how many students stay in the dormitories and have to
Mm.
eat every day. Just the amount of jobs that are created with just the daily living on campus, right? And so understanding that, my understanding is that it is not difficult to find jobs. In fact,
Mm.
there's, when you become a student, you get access to the job board, and there's always jobs. There's certain departments, areas that are always seeking help. There's I've never heard of that job board being completely empty.
Okay.
Not
That's
even close.
good news.
Yeah.
That's a good news for us. So, okay, so now that is some sort of encouragement for us. I'm sure that by now people will be looking, okay, so what department should I apply to that there are not a lot of students in there so that I could stand a better chance of getting, because one of the schools that I know also said the same thing, and I understand completely what you just said. Because if the department, maybe they have about $100,000, and then we still have about 50 students or 60 students in that department, how
Right.
much are we going to give to people and stuff like that? So I understand that very, very, very well. So the advice we are sharing on board this afternoon, is that you can reach out to the professor or maybe your advisor, the departmental chairman or chairperson. I think you should introduce yourself, like,
Yeah.
clearly, and then in a better, respectful manner, because they're also humans. So, I mean, respectfully introduce themselves, or introduce yourself to them. As Ty said, let them know about your experience.
Yes.
Ty, would you say that academical experience would also count to that?
Yes. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
Okay. Okay.
Some people, and we look at everything holistically, right?
Mm.
So academic experience, work experience, anything. Even if you say, "Listen, I haven't done this, but here's why I have a strong interest in your research or this or that, or why I'm intrigued." Anything helps there.
Okay. That is perfect. Just before we get to the other question about visa support, there's one question I just want us to look at quickly. It says that let me show it to you. It says, please, does GRE contributions, contributes a lot to gaining admission to PhD in statistics at Iowa State University? And can't it, I'm pretty sure the person want to say, be waived for international student? What do you say to that, Ty?
Right. I would have to dig deeper for that specific, PhD of statistics. But what I can say is that, again, going back to that decentralized system, some departments don't have GRE requirements at all. Some have it optional. So if you say, okay, I got a killer GRE score, I want to post that and make sure they know about that. So that's not wasted. And others that you have to have it. Now, again, there's, we have thousands upon thousands of international applicants, and we're understanding of unique situations. And so the best way to do that is that GRE requirement is set by that program of study. So what you want to do is when we get to it and show you the web page where you can see all of our programs of study, find the one you want. So in this case, statistics. There's a contact information for the graduate support person. So every department has someone in that role who is there to answer your questions like this.
Okay. So it means that we're going to be, Ty, can we have your email or maybe the email of the office so that this student particularly, that is Kenneth Kavia, maybe he could reach out to you later, trying to find out if we have any update from your office with this PhD that he wants to apply for. That is PhD in statistics at Iowa State University. Can we get that update? We'll be grateful if we can have your email so that we get into that.
I'm going to put into the chat for everyone. Let me know if you see it. Right there's a link. Do you see that, McCray?
Okay. Yep. That is it. So I'm putting up this link that is shared in the comment section, so that everybody can just see this link that I just shared with me. I think it is of a great resource. So guys, try to get to this. Just read on the information posted on that page, and I'm sure that you're gonna be so much informed about that. Okay, and I think one other question I just want us to quickly look at before we get to the other question. It says that, do they have application fee waivers? Okay, I think we spoke about that briefly. I know last year it was free. What about the next cycle? Okay, so Ty, I mean, we spoke about it, but just try to help you answer this question briefly.
So it must have been the department whatever department you're thinking about, Mohammed, that it probably wasn't free unless it was one of the departments that pays the application fee for the accepted students, but it was most likely a delayed action fee. So you were able to put in your application and get it processed, and then if offered and accepted, it goes on your U bill.
Okay. So Mohammed, I'm sure that question is answered. I don't know. Okay, so Ty, this is a question coming. It says there was a letter spreading online about admissions being rescinded by ISU. If you can confirm that to them, is this something you are aware of?
I am aware that there was a department that needed to rescind some offers, and that, of course, had to do with what is the news that everyone is aware of, that there's been changes in funding and things like that. That was soon after those administrative decisions were made, and so that is, I can confirm that it was a single department. And it was a few students. I think that the letter reached a lot of eyes, and it was just a few students.
Just a few students. Okay. But I would also advise that if you're a student and then maybe you have any issue concerning this, kindly send an email to Ty, and then I'm sure that he'll help you to explain some of the things happening to you personally, because it's not something that can just be out, because maybe your situation may be unique from another person. So please send an email to Ty so that he can help you to explain anything you need to know. Okay, I have the questions popping up now. Okay, just before the next question I have in the comment section, let's talk about a visa support. But viewers, listen, you can be putting your questions there. I'll be getting to them as soon as possible. Visa support, the international office, how do you help students, from time to time, to prepare for interviews, booked interviews at the U.S. embassies in their various countries? How do you help them? To what extent?
So the first thing, I'm going to take one step back from that. I think one of the big things that makes Iowa State stand out, and I know, every college is going to tout themselves for something or other, but the reason I went back to Iowa State to work is the experience I had as an undergraduate. And with 30,000 students there, you think that you'll get lost in the crowd. And McCray, now, you've been in the Midwest long enough that people here really care. And we have a very large university with all of the wonderful opportunities that come with that. But what people need to know is you will be amazed at the individual treatment that you get. People really care, really want to help. I get individual graduates that come and sit in my office, and we work through whatever issues that they have. And everyone is like that. I would say, really, really prides itself on that. We are a small, Midwestern good people community. So that I say that to reassure you that we have an International Students and Scholars Office. So I'm going to call it the ISSO because we refer to it. The ISSO has some of the most incredible people. They are there to get you everything you need from starting with your I-20, which you need to take to your visa appointment. Helping you get if for some reason you're running late and you need a letter to get in late to the country later than after your first classes have started. They help you with employment, just anything you can think of. You go to them and you say, there's certain services that I might need. That they're incredible. The nice thing, going back to how I started though, is you can even grab a professor and say, I don't know how to do this or this, and they will get you to the right place. You can always come into our admissions office. We have international students that come in all the time because they've worked with us throughout the process. And they'll come in and say, I want to know how to get a driver's license. We'll say, okay, we're admissions. We don't do that here, but we're going to help you get set up with it, right? We're going to get you the information you need and that sort of thing. So there's, whether it's the visa, whether it's living in Ames, whether it's just in finding ingredients for food, you're always going to find someone at Iowa State that's going to be willing to help you.
That is beautiful. So somebody may be asking about accommodation too. If you can just drop a hint about that. I don't know if there are some schools, they still want graduate students to stay on campus. There's some of them, they go like, no, just stay off campus. What is that policy with Iowa State right now? And if you can give us a kind of a range, range of prices of off-campus accommodation right now at maybe is it Ankeny? Are you guys in Ankeny?
No, we're in Ames.
Ames. Sorry, man. You were supposed to drive me when we were coming from the conference. When we were returning, you were supposed to drive me, but that couldn't happen.
No, for the viewers, Ames and Ankeny, they're both start with A, and they're very close to each other. So, okay, again, I got to be very careful here because housing is not my area of expertise. My belief is that that there's no requirements. There's plenty of housing available for graduate students. I don't believe, and as we talk, I can even get online here and look it up to make sure that what I'm saying is correct.
Okay.
But I know 100% there's lots of housing for graduate students on we say on campus, but that can mean like just outside. You're right there, walking distance. Everything's walking distance at Iowa State. And I believe that there is the option to live off campus as well. Perhaps someone who's already here, a relative or someone that's, from my understanding, and I will double check that, just I don't give exactly the wrong information. I believe that's possible as well.
That is okay too. So let's now, before we get to maybe my last two questions, we have just about 10 or 15 minutes and then we are done. And so let's get to the questions in the comment section at this point. Okay, this is the question. I think we kind of tackled this already. This is about the people who had their offers rescinded. And then somebody's asking, Jonas says, can we get his email address? Okay, so I just posted an email address in the comment section. And when you send your email to that address, Ty is going to help you out. He's going to help you get you all the clarification and needed information you need to proceed to Iowa State University.
And notice that's a general email address. And the reason I put that one there is that, like, for example, next week I'm gone for 3 days off campus, right? And I am at a conference, so I won't be on top of my email. If you have a question, any one of my colleagues can answer that. If you want it specifically to reach me, you write to that email address and you write Dear Ty.
Okay.
And if I'm not answering that general box that day, one of my colleagues is, and they'll make sure it gets to me. So that's just to help you speed up the process.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Another one coming in from Jonas Foley. He says, kindly, I wish to know whether or not the admissions will come automatically with a GA decision, or there is a separate application for GA position. Okay, I think I know what he's trying to, because there are some schools that you need to do separate application for GA positions. What about ISU? What do we know, Ty?
So when you apply, you indicate your interest in the assistantship, and that is on the general application, right? And so therefore, it's every student does that if the department is offering a graduate assistantship. So if you're filling out an application, you say, I went through that whole application, I didn't see the question, then that department doesn't offer those.
Okay.
But then most departments will include that in the final offer. Some may write, that a decision is impending on the graduate assistantship, and that might have to do with they're hoping to get a grant or something like that. So they're not making all of the decisions on GAs right away because they may be able to offer even more or less than they thought. So they're putting the offer out there, but the department will clearly communicate that with them.
Thank you so much, Ty. I have just a couple of questions. I think this one we'll just try to get straight to the answers. The first one is that, do we pay any form of enrollment deposit? University of, Iowa State University, any form of enrollment deposit? Is there anything like that? Good.
Nope.
There's nothing like enrollment deposit at the, Iowa State University. Second question, how much should I present, I'm talking about the financial document, before my I-20 is issued to me?
Yes. So that is going to depend entirely on each individual, right? So that'll depend on whether you get a graduate assistantship, whether you get a scholarship on top of that, what percentage it is, how many dependents you are bringing, if you're bringing none, if you're bringing some. So what we have is, when you apply, there'll be these action items that you have to complete. One of them is for financial documents. You do not have to complete that one unless you get an offer and accept it. But there's a link on that where you can play around with your individual situation. It's our ISSO calculator. And then put in whatever your permutations are, your individual details, and they'll show you the end result of. And you can play around with it. So if you're just applying now, you can say, okay, this is how much I have to show if I get a full assistantship. This is how much I'll show if I get a half assistantship, that sort of thing.
Okay. What do you think would be the minimum cost of attendance that a student could present? International. Zero?
No, seriously. Zero. There's still there's departments that'll give the full assistantship plus a scholarship for cost of living, and anyone that gets an assistantship gets the domestic rate of tuition as well. Right? So it can be, there are candidates and there are programs that offer full scholarships and assistantships, and the cost of going to Iowa State for a graduate degree can be zero.
Okay. So what about people who do not have any form of assistantship? Not even 50%, 30%, but they have to come with their own funding.
Yeah.
What do you think would be the minimum for them to pay?
Again, it depends entirely on each person's situation, and so they add in the tuition, the various fees, and then the cost of living. So it will depend. That cost of living adjusts if you're bringing one dependent, so maybe you have a spouse, or if you're bringing three, a spouse and two kids, that all adjusts. So it's very difficult to say what that is because it's so individualized.
Okay. All right. So I know somebody even listening to us right now may be asking, so let's say I'm just coming to study computer science or business analytics. I'm just coming alone. I don't have any dependents. So I just want to have an idea about what I should be preparing towards.
Yeah.
And so I know that it's just me. I would have my tuition on my I-20 showing up. I have maybe my insurance, my accommodation, and then stuff like that showing up. Somebody may
Yeah.
still be wanting to, kind of have an idea of what I should be shooting out for. Even if I'm going to apply for what we call a student loan, I need to have an idea. Basically know how much I'm going to apply for. If I'm going to talk to my dad, any family member, I should have an idea about the prices that I'm going to mention. So, maybe something that we can just try to work towards. Maybe as you're trying to look into that, we'll be getting. Do you have it now?
I don't. I'm
okay.
Trying to get to the link right now.
Okay.
And what I can do is then I can get you that.
Okay. That works too.
Later, and then you can figure that out.
Yes, that works too. I think we can talk about. So, what documents would you need? Is it always a bank statement? Can somebody bring? I get these questions all the time. Maybe a treasury bill. What document would you need for I-20 for you to issue an I-20 to a student?
Okay, so in order, obviously, we need the passport of the person and any dependents that they're bringing. And then when it comes to the financial documents, the most recent bank statement, so it can't be from a year ago, and all of the money, the funding must be liquid, so it must be accessible. Now, and it can come from multiple sources. It does not have to be all within a single account. It can be multiple. And then if someone is getting sponsored either by a governmental organization, a company, a family member, there's a specific form in which they fill out, and then they also have the promissory fill that out as well.
Perfect. Ty, maybe my last question to you today. I was recently having a conversation with one student.
Yes.
And then she told me that she doesn't want to, or she's in a dilemma. She doesn't know what school to go for, just because of the fact that she heard in one of the webinars that the school organized that 70 to 80% of the students in the particular school, they are all from India. And so she's literally terrified that why do I have to go to schools that, everybody's just, so I had to try to, advise, come head down and listen. You don't have to think about a population of, so what about if that Indian also get to hear that the 70% of the people living there or schooling there, they're also from Nigeria, or they're from Zimbabwe or from Ghana. How do you want that student to also feel? So definitely somebody is going to have a higher number of population than yours. And so I don't want you to think like that, but I wanted to briefly share with us the international community. I'm sure by now you're thinking, no, even if we have Asians too much, I won't say it. But Ty, I want you to tell us, how is the international community, how vibrant it is at Iowa State University at this point?
Yeah. So I get to also, as the assistant director, I get involved in the evaluation of transcripts process. And I am always shocked at the sheer number of different nationalities that we get that apply and are accepted. We have such a wide range from all over, all parts of the world. It's quite extraordinary when you think about it. Iowa State's out in the middle of farm country, and here are these people from all over the world coming in, and they're all here for an education. And it's really appreciated by the people within Ames and Iowa State. Everyone understands the importance of having people who think differently, who have different experiences, and how rich that makes it for us. But the other thing I do want to say, I would say to that person is, so I've been on your side. I lived in the Middle East. I lived in China. I lived in Zambia. I lived in Dominican Republic. And the coolest thing that where I grew the most is those relationships with those people from around the world that I met and who I call now my dearest friends. It's funny, it's just by chance, most of those people were not American. Here I am, an American with very little experience overseas. I get over, but in the end, you find the people who have similarities to you and your personality, the things you like, and it's shocking when it's not the people who you think it's going to be. So, I get it. When I first left the United States, I would have thought, "Oh my gosh, this is so scary." Over there, one of my best friends in the world now is South African, and if you would have said, "Oh, you're going to be surrounded by these South African," oh my gosh, I wouldn't have known. And now I just think, thank goodness that happened, because my life is so much better from meeting these people from all over and interacting with them. And so that would be my advice: is who cares? Go for it. You're there for your education, but also outside of that, the education you will get from being around people who are not like you is one that'll stick with you as well.
That is such a perfect answer. So I remember telling this lady that, listen, you're just going there for maybe a year or two. After that, you are literally out in the market, like in the job market. Like, you're literally going to spend more time with other people. And then you're spending time with, you don't want to always live with people from your country all the time, because learn from other people. Listen, because for me, I like culture. So I like to look at how these people, they think, how they approach situations, and then how they kind of organize things, how they solve problems. Because you may be surprised that somebody would just maybe you'll be thinking about something, but the way the other person will just process it, you go like, no, this person is not doing it right. But if you get close to the person, you realize that no, that is how the entire people from that country, that is how they do their thing. You get it? And so that is actually making you international. You're not limited to just your zone.
And what I found so cool was when you would meet people from other countries and they do think like you, right? You're like, oh, wait, we're from opposite sides of the globe, and we're so in sync right now. How is it? And that it just shows you that humanity is we're all the same. It's a shared humanity. It's good people. And the other advice I would say is, if that absolutely terrifies you, then I think you need to sit down and really think about, should I be going international for an education?
Yeah.
And that's okay too. Like, if you say no, like, that's too scary for me, then maybe that's not for you. And that's quite all right. That's okay. It's not forever.
Yeah, it's not forever. Okay. So Ty, I'll come back to you for 30 seconds of wrap up. So what we've been talking about, the basic requirement, once again, we said we'll be looking at the SOPs. That is a statement of purpose. And also we're looking at transcript. That for the transcript, we're saying that you can use the unofficial transcript to apply, but as you are admitted, you will be requested to also try to send in the official transcript. In some scenarios, they can wait that when you're coming to the US, then you bring that officially. The department or the international office, they're currently looking at other ways to have you sent that to them officially. And also we are looking at degree statement, but back home we call it degree certificate. So the certificate that you get notifying the office that you have this degree conferred on you, we need to have that. Also a GPA of 3.0, which means that if maybe your school, like my undergraduate, or above.
Not exactly a 3.0.
Yes, or above. And so if you happen to go to a school I went to, we don't do a GPA. Ty is telling you that do not worry, because they're going to help you out to work out everything. And application fee, $100. But then again, we said that they are in 3 categories. Maybe the department you're applying to, you may have to just pay it up front before your application is considered. The other category is that maybe when you apply it, when you apply for it, you have your application considered and an offer is given to you. Then later, you have this $100 bill added to your school fees or whatever that you need to pay later. The third category is of the fact that the department will go like, listen, we are paying this for you. It's okay. You don't have to worry about that. They're paying that for you. So who knows? You may be lucky to enjoy one of this second or the third category. You know what I'm saying? So put up your application right now to Iowa State University. And then we're talking about the transcript evaluation. They says no, you don't have to worry about that. They have some group of people, and then they kind of help to do that. Visa support, whatever documentation, whatever idea you need, whatever advice you need, the ISSO department at Iowa State University, they are rooting for you. They're going to be there to help you all the time, right? And also we're talking about jobs on campus. Ty says it is not difficult to get. Whatever it is, if you're looking for a graduate assistantship, maybe teaching or maybe research assistantship to, please, if you don't have it before any time, just reach out to the advisor, reach out to your professor, or maybe the chairperson or chairman of the department, right? Introduce yourself to them. Let them know your background. Let them know what you are made up of. Introduce to them. Let them know that, hey, I am good at this. Help me locate some opportunity here. Introduce yourself to them. Who knows? That opportunity can come to you. And so just reach out, send them that email. I'm sure that it's going to help you. All right. So that is about job on campus. You can work at the cafeteria. You can work at the maybe housing or wherever that any other jobs that you can get on campus to do. And also the international community. We are saying that it is a beautiful thing at Iowa State University. People coming in from all sides of life. I mean, it's very beautiful because Ty himself has been to China, has been to Zimbabwe, spending 4 good years. The guy is saying that if not for the father of COVID, he would have been still there, maybe trying to still learn some more Swahili. I don't know. Do they speak Swahili over there?
No, not in Zambia. It's a former Commonwealth, so everyone speaks English, but there's Nanja and Togo and a few other languages there.
Okay, that's fine. So that is a beautiful one. And then I know Chast is just also asking more questions. I have some other questions coming up. It says, I was scared when I heard degree statement, but thank you for the detailed explanation. Yes. This could actually just put something of the another degree statement. I don't have that. I don't know what that is, but man, you have it.
Degree certificate.
Yes, you have it. So I think if you have it on your website, like degree statement, you may have to please put it in bracket or change it or something for them
I already made note of that, McGray. I made note of it. I need to look.
Okay,
so people not applying because of that. So.
Yeah. So that is what we have. So guys, if you have any question, once again, send an email to admissions at IA State, that is Iowa State dot look at it on the screen .edu.
Yes.
Admissions at IA State. So IA, that is actually the abbreviation of the state Iowa. Like every state here in the US, they have stuff like that. South Dakota SD, Massachusetts MA. I mean, so Iowa is IA, so it's IA State .edu. Send an email to the admissions team. Ty is saying that if you want him to look at it particularly, put it like hi Ty or hello or dear Ty or whatever. And Ty is just TY, which means to you. TY. Send him that email. Okay, Ty, do we have any wrap up for you?
Rat. So
say that again.
I said I think in the Vietnamese language it means rat.
Rat.
So
Ty. Rat.
Yeah. But don't write dear rat.
Oh my God. That is on the lighter side. Okay. Any wrap up from you?
If you don't mind, just 30 more seconds to say something about Iowa State. I know from having worked with students in high schools that are looking to go to the United States and around the world, a primary concern is safety. Mm-hmm. And I just want to reassure people, Ames, Iowa is probably one of the safest places you could ever live. A lot, I would guess a vast majority of our population comes from Iowa State. They're alums or they're somehow associated with the university. So the appreciation of international students and education, it's a college town. It revolves everything around Iowa State. So if you come here, you are very well taken care of. You are safe. You can go out and you can walk the streets at as an example, when we take those international flights to fly back home to Zambia or China, and I'd want to go for a run in the morning, I'd go for a run at like 2 a.m. on the streets, and it's completely safe. So I wanted to make sure everyone knew that because that you think, oh, geez, am I going to be safe there? You're not just going to be safe. You're going to be appreciated and helped. It's just the agriculture way, the Midwest way. McCray, I know you can attest to that.
Thank you so much, Ty. We really appreciate you, and also to our audience watching us. Listen, anybody who is coming to Iowa State, let me know. The moment you drive, you get there, I'm going to try to find my way to Ames, where Iowa State is, because I need to meet you in person. I'm going to meet up with Ty again, maybe when I come there, so that we have some sort of beautiful party for you guys. A welcome. Maybe who knows, I may pop up at the orientation one time that, hey, this is me. I'm here together with you. So when you're going there, let me know that you're here. It will be so much of a fun thing to connect with all of you, finally, when you come to the United States of America, particularly at Iowa State University at Ames to study. Ty, I want to say thank you. I want to teach you in my language. It says Akbenao. Say it, let me hear.
Akbenao.
Akbenao.
You're gonna do this to me?
Come on, Ty, try it again. Akbenao.
Akbenao.
Okay. Or maybe a Nigerian will say Eshe.
Eshe.
Oh.
How about Muli Bwanji to my Zambian brethren?
Yeah, that is so right. Thank you so much. So you can just stay on. I want to wrap up the show with you together. So anybody who watched us want to say thank you so much. Any questions you have, once more time, please send it to admissions@IA State. That is IASTATE.edu. And then the admissions team at Iowa State University, they're going to help you out. Answer every question, every question that they're going to do too. I mean, help you out. So thank you once more time. If you have any prospective student, a friend, you may want to share this video with them. Let them know that there's a school in the Midwest called Iowa State University. Come have a look at it. Listen, people are putting up the language in the comment section now. Somebody is saying that, I'll be coming for my second degree. Woo! That's good. Iowa State, we've got somebody there coming up. And then they're still teaching me the language. They say Dalu in Igbo language, Nigeria. Ty, they want you to say that. Say that so that we can go. Say that. Dalu. Yes. And then somebody is saying something out. This language, please, we can't go there.
I love it. I love the pride. That's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. This is so beautiful. You see the international community, so beautiful. So once again,
any of you that are watching, if you end up at Iowa State, you walk in my office and you say, "Hi, I saw you online, and let's go party. Let's go have a ball." I want to get to know you guys.
Yes. Okay. So beautiful. So Ty, I'm sure that I had to use my lunch break to make this show work out for us. So when we get back, yes, I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave you a test or get you on a call, and then we can have some other things talked about. So God bless you so much. We thank you for joining us today, Ty.
And thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I'll see you on the other side.
Hope to hear from many of your listeners.
Hey, good. One person is already coming. Second service, second degree. They're already on their way to Iowa State. So
come find me. Come find me in the Enrollment Services Center. Come.
Yes. Beautiful. All right. To everybody watching, once again, we say thank you. My name is McCray Sogan, and I did this show today with the man known as Ty from Iowa State University at Ames. We'll see you in the United States of America at Iowa State trying to study abroad. God bless everybody. We'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.